law.com text line. You can do that, 303-713-1043. I have a question as it relates to the number one pick in the NFL draft, which is currently held by the Tennessee Titans. But it's got a Bo Nix twist. Having the number one pick in the draft is a really big deal, right?
It really is. It's a huge deal. You want to have it, but you don't want to have it.
Right. Well said.
Because if you're having the number one pick, we all know, and if you don't, I'm going to tell you right now, you suck.
Yeah.
You're the worst team in the NFL.
Yep. And you're seeing I saw someone who did this. I forget who it was. They had the New York Giants trading up for Shedeur Sanders with the number one overall pick. For the Giants to move from 3 to 1, and I think it is 3.
Yeah.
You're trading next year's first round pick and another pick to move up 2 spots to get to number 1. So imagine moving up to 9 to number 1, 12 to number 1. It's a big deal. So here's my question. If the Tennessee Titans called the Denver Broncos and offered the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, but it's for Bo Nix.
For Bo. Our Bo?
Our Bo. Tennessee, hey, we have the number 1 pick. We'll give you the number 1 pick in the draft for Bo Nix. Would you do it?
No. Heavens no. Look, the reason why you want these picks and you want the number 1 pick is because you're saying, hey, look, we need that franchise player, whether it's a quarterback, a pass rusher, but you need a quarterback no matter what. If you have a quarterback, everything is going to be A-okay over time. You have to be able to fill that position. You have to be able to hit on that position. We did that this year. We were able to hit on Bo Nix, and we didn't have the first pick in the NFL draft. He was the 6th quarterback taken. We're talking about my boy Bo. Let's Bo. I haven't got to say that in a while.
I know. We haven't.
Let's Bo. Let's Bo. Let's Bo. Let's Bo. Let's Bo. Look.
Oh, that felt good.
Oh, it did, man. So this
it's been like a month.
Yeah. But we have a quarterback in the building that we can call a franchise quarterback, I believe. The number 1 draft pick it's okay, it's intriguing. It's something that you maybe talk about. But the goal is to have a franchise quarterback.
Right.
Bo Nix was able to get us to the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
We were able to win 10 games. First time with a winning season since 2016. Why are we going to sit here and act like the grass could be greener on the other side? I don't want to take another risk. Although I like Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward would be a good one. We have a good one in Bo, and it fits the scheme. He fits the scheme with Sean Payton. Over 3,700 yards passing, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions in his first year, with not a lot of weapons around him just yet. I'm not willing to give him up for a first-round draft pick. We're in a good shape. Build around Bo, Zach. Build around Bo.
You said heavens no? I'll say hell no. That was really just all well said and well laid out, because if you don't have a franchise quarterback, the goal is to get one at any cost. And I'm sure someone out there loves Shedeur Sanders that is listening right now.
Do the Shedeur.
Do the Shedeur. And they're like, dude, Shedeur is a smart quarterback, a processing quarterback. He could work in Sean's offense, restart the clock of what you can do with your contract, and you can kind of only do 1 year with the Russell Wilson stuff. But it's way too much of a gamble, way too much. And I can't believe that 1 year after or 10 months after here drafting Bo Nix, that we're talking about. The Broncos have never had the number 1 pick in the draft, not to my knowledge. The Broncos have never had the number 1 pick in the draft, right?
No, that's a pride thing.
No, I think the highest was, I'm pretty sure, 2.
Okay, 2.
Yeah, with Von Miller after Cam Newton.
Yeah.
I don't think they've never had the number 1 pick. And I just can't believe that 10 months after drafting the 6th quarterback in the draft, the least thought of quarterback in the draft, who Todd McShay said half the league had a second-round grade, and 10 months later, we're going through a game theory exercise that they're offering you the number 1 pick in the draft and you wouldn't take it, and that's how we are on Bo.
And you have to listen to Sean, and Sean saying, hey, we're going to be a problem next year, that we're not as far off as people think. And so it's like, why is that? Because you hit on the quarterback. you guys believe, and we all believe, but Sean and George specifically believe that the quarterback of the Denver Broncos for a very long time will be Bo Nix. You can't give that up, especially when you're in the division of, or you have the division with Joe Burrow in it, in the AFC. You have Josh Allen, you have Lamar Jackson, and you have Patrick Mahomes. You can't afford to mess around with that. We've been messing around with that for too long.
Agreed.
And we've been getting burnt because of that for too long. We finally have had a successful season. I'm not willing to give up a guy for something that people are like, oh, it's intriguing to have the number one pick. Yeah, that's cool and all. Yeah. For sure. But I'm good with our guy.
So am I.
I'm comfortable.
So am I. And I'm comfortable and I'm confident. Comfortable and confident. Ooh. And you want to know what? This is what I think the point is here. What if we did an exercise like 2 weeks ago where it was like, where would Bo go in this class? Remember?
Yeah.
It was like, with the information you had coming out of Oregon, where would he go in the 2025 class? And
I don't think he dropped, I think number 3 was, I believe I had him at 2 or 3. You had him at, was it when we redrafted and you're like, hey, you'd be a first, second, or third round draft pick? And
well, for first, second, or third pick.
Pick. Yeah, pick.
Because he threw, what did he throw? 47 touchdowns and like 3 interceptions his last year at Oregon.
Oh, yeah. No, that one, we all said he was going number 1.
Yeah, we said he would go number 1.
Yeah.
Now, and maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. But if you took Bo Nix right now with the information you do have from his rookie year, and you just cited the stats 5 minutes ago, 3,700 yards, 29 tutties, 12 interceptions. If you had the information on Bo and he wasn't coming out of Oregon and it was based on what you saw at Oregon and his rookie year, and then you got to say, Bo's a part of this class with the information we know, Bo's definitely going number 1. You're going to have teams trying to trade up and draft Bo.
Which is crazy.
Number 1. Because what you hope to see from Shedeur, what you hope to see from Cam Ward is what Bo showed you.
And we're not saying that it can't happen. What you're saying is you hope that's what the Tennessee Titans are hoping.
Yes, that's what you hope. That you're like, oh my God, this guy's so athletic. Oh my God, second most touchdowns by a rookie ever. Takes care of the football, is a processor, mature, CEO energy. Like
wins games, knows how to win games.
Immediately shows up. Broncos are a 10-win team. Boom. It's like
makes it look easy,
right? And that was with a slow start.
Yes,
that was with a slow start. They didn't have a single touchdown the first 3 weeks of the year, and 1/4 of his season picks were in the first 4 games because he was in a 3-man competition throughout the entirety of the summer. Was the last name starter. We're gonna start our own smear campaign with that because I still can't believe that Sean did that.
They were fearing for his dead arm, and Mike and Mark fearing for his dead arm.
It was mostly Mark. It was one of the worst arguments I've ever heard. But it's like, dude, he would be a slam dunk number 1. Any team who didn't have a quarterback would be trying to get up to trade Bo. So it's like, if you just do the exercise the other way, instead of saying, hey, if the Titans called you and offered the number 1 pick, of course the answer is no.
You're hanging up the phone. I'm sorry, I can't do it. It sounds good. It looks good. But Bo's ours.
Right.
Nobody else thought about Bo, and now you guys want him? That's how it always goes.
That's it. Now, it got me thinking this morning. So
I don't like when you start thinking.
I've had this like little conversation in our notes here for a few days, knowing that we would get to it at some point. But would you trade Bo for any of the first-team All-Pro positional players? Would you trade Bo for Saquon Barkley? Would you trade Bo for
Why do you have to do this to me?
Myles Garrett? Right? I'm just like, is there any positional player that was first-team All-Pro in the NFL? Forget the number 1 draft pick. Would you trade Bo Nix for any positional player in the National Football League?
See, now this is a little different because now you're dealing with players that you know have played great at the highest level. When you're dealing with the number 1 draft pick overall, you don't know what you're truly getting in that player. He could be a hit. He could be a bust. Wasn't it DeMarcus Russell?
Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell.
Yes, absolute bust. Yes,
you know, and so it's like you don't know what you're getting out of it. Would I give up Bo Nix for Myles Garrett? No, because we have Nick Bonito here. We have Jonathan Cooper, and I'm not saying those two players are on the same level as Miles Garrett. But they're great pieces, and they're young, and they're developing, and we don't know what they're going to become later on. They still have a lot more football to be played to show us that, hey, they can be a superstar. They still have an opportunity to be superstars. That's the fun part about it. Would I give up Bo Nix for Saquon Barkley? I love my running backs. And Saquon
2,000-yard rusher
has changed the game. But I would not give up Bo Nix for Saquon. The reason why we're talking about adding a running back is because you have the quarterback. We need a quarterback. We all know that. It helps the running back out. Just like the running game helps the quarterback out. But I can't give up Bo Nix for Saquon.
Nope.
Saquon wouldn't want to come to Denver if you don't have a quarterback. It's as simple as that. You want to go where it's established.
Yep. I agree with you. I looked through every first-team All-Pro this year and last year. There is not one single positional player that I would trade for Bo Nix. Not one. Not one. And then it got me thinking.
Uh-oh.
And then it got me thinking.
Like, you're like, Bo, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere, baby.
Would he be going somewhere if you opened up the conversation for quarterbacks?
I knew you were going to come up with that. You know what? I have him right here. I knew you were coming with that question.
So I have mine too. Grab my notes.
I was like, Zach's going to set me up for failure.
No joke, okay? No joke. I think there's 4 players in the entire NFL that I would trade for Bo Nix.
4 players or 4 quarterbacks?
4 quarterbacks. 4 quarterbacks.
All right.
Because I would not trade Bo Nix for any positional player in the National Football League right now.
Ooh.
Not one. There are 4 total human beings that currently have a heartbeat in the NFL that I would trade Bo Nix for. Just 4. I don't even need my 5th digit on my hand. Just 4. Get the 4 horsemen. All right. I would trade Bo Nix right now for 28-year-old Josh Allen.
Okay.
I would trade Bo Nix for 28-year-old Joe Burrow.
Joey B.
I would trade Bo Nix for 29-year-old Pat Mahomes. And I would trade Bo Nix for 24-year-old Jaden Daniels. That's the only 4 I would do it for.
You know, it's interesting because I didn't think you were going to go the Jaden Daniels way. I did not think you were going to. I did not think you were going to go with Jaden Daniels.
I think that young man is a shooting star and a future Hall of Famer. That's what he looks like right out of the gate.
All right. Hey,
60 minutes from the Super Bowl.
You surprised me that you would even give up Bo.
In a good way?
No, yeah. Like, truly, in 2 ways. It's like, hey, this is what it tells you. You can have somebody in your backyard, somebody that you like and love, and as a human being, something better comes along. You're willing to give it up no matter what. You know, but that's just human nature. That's anybody. That's why you have trades in general.
Sure.
Because nothing's off the table. Even if you handpicked a guy that you just know fits the system, if someone like Josh Allen decides he wants to come to Denver, you're ready to ship off Bo Nix because of what Josh brings to the table and what he has done so far.
And how much many years he still has in front of him as a 28-year-old, which is why I wanted to list those
so even
ages.
them, so you're saying that you would give them up because they're better than Bo or because they fit the system? Because think about it. Does Josh look like the Josh Allen with the roster that we have here now or the roster we had last year? Like, that's sometimes that I put in my head. Like, how does that look?
I think he would be great because no one was talking about the Bills roster.
Yeah.
No one. They sold off or not sold off. They let the high price household names walk out the door to the point where
just one high price name.
No, it was Gabe Davis as well.
And Gabe Davis.
I mean,
forgot about Gabe.
You got to remember, Gabe Davis is catching 4 touchdowns in the AFC Championship game against.
Did he go to Duval?
No one knows. No one knows where Gabe Davis went. He was a Josh Allen creation.
I'm
just telling you. I'm just telling you.
Don't do it.
How did Gabe Davis play this year? Do you know? No one knows. No one knows. So I think Josh would thrive here. He's a processor. He would do great in Sean's system, as would Joe Burrow, as would Pat Mahomes. And I just think Jaden Daniels would thrive in any situation. I think he's that special.
And he's young. He's talented. Like, there's room to grow. He's a sponge. He's taking everything in, and you can kind of create him and mold him into a quarterback that you see fits this offense, which is great. That's why you go with young rookie quarterbacks. Now, for me, I had 5 quarterbacks. I had 5.
Oh.
Because you want to be disrespectful.
Go ahead and rifle through them real quick, or do you want to wait? So we got Mike Kliss on the Johnson Auto Plaza hotline, our 9 News Broncos insider, who we haven't talked to here in a few weeks. All right. He is brought to you by Fitness Gallery. Kliss, we're just going through an exercise, and before we move on to some of the news of the day, the exercise was if the Tennessee Titans offered you the number 1 pick in the draft but asked for Bo Nix in return, the answer would be no. The answer would be no.
Right.
And then it expanded out to if any positional player in the NFL was offered to you, from Saquon Barkley to Penei Sewell to you fill in the blank, any positional player for Bo Nix, 1 for 1, I wouldn't do it, Mike. And neither would Phil. Do we sound crazy to you?
No, because I think the Broncos country knows what it's like not to have a quarterback. And while they don't have maybe the best quarterback in the NFL, I would say he's top 10. And there's parts, to me, the Bo Nix, where he reminds me of the most, probably the closest comparison in the NFL is Jalen Hurts. I mean, he runs as well as Jalen Hurts does. Right. He's got a little bit stronger arm. He throws the ball. Now, Jalen Hurts was good enough because he had the number 1 running back and number 1 rushing attack and number 1 defense. And Sean Payton said that all year. The best friend or best compliment, the best thing you can do for a rookie quarterback is give him a running game and a good defense. Jalen Hurts had that, a veteran, and he was able to easily whip all comers in the NFC, and then Patrick Mahomes in the AFC. Mahomes, I tell you what, I think the Chiefs lost their air of invincibility with that game, and we'll see if the Broncos can capitalize it. But I agree, Barkley might be the only one. Jamar Chase, you would talk about it. Those are the top 2 positional players right now. There's not a real dominant, maybe T.J. Watt, who got, he didn't have the sacks this year, but he got triple teamed. And I mean triple teamed in games I watched.
But he's 30.
Still,
I'm not trading a quarterback for a 30-year-old.
Yeah, right. I mean, I agree. I would keep Bo. Now there's maybe, Josh Allen you would probably take, right?
Yeah.
And in a straight swap for Bo Nix, but quarterbacks aside, you wouldn't trade Bo Nix for anyone.
And even with the quarterbacks, I think I'd only do it for 4. I swear.
Put 5 on there, Zach. Put 5 on there.
I would do it for Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, Jaden Daniels. I don't know. I'd really have to think about it. Like, would I do it for Justin or
Lamar?
Herbert? Like, would I do it for Herbert?
Yeah.
He hates Lamar, Mike.
Maybe. No, and with Lamar, I thought about this.
Yeah.
Is that John Harbaugh tore down his entire offensive ideology and built it around Lamar Jackson,
which a good coach does.
And Sean Payton ain't doing that. So
that's true. So you're right. That's true.
That's why I left him off my list. I'm sorry, Phil.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
I know that's your Valentine.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I'll tell you this. I'm not sure. Besides, I agree, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, those 2 you would for sure. I'm not even sure Joe Burrow, because Sean Payton hates taking sacks. And Joe Burrow is, he's a sack machine. He takes all kinds of sacks. Now he can sling it like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But he hangs on, but he can't escape. He can't get rid of the ball. He does get behind the sticks quite a bit. And so, it might only be 3. I think you would still take Patrick Mahomes, although, my goodness, did he look skittish in the Super Bowl.
Oh, Mike, you're taking Pat Mahomes. You know that.
There's people saying on the text line, I wouldn't trade for Mahomes right now.
Yeah, okay. After one? Yeah.
I know.
Philip, right. Hey, Philip, let me stop myself. Philip is right. You take Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Mike, free agents around the corner. Zach and I have been arguing like cats and dogs. I'm the dog. He's the cat.
Oh, God.
And it's about Courtland Sutton. It's about another receiver to add on with Courtland Sutton. So you have T. Higgins that if you bring in, you're probably getting rid of Courtland because you're not going to pay T. Higgins and Courtland Sutton. But my
Correct.
thought process was the Denver Broncos are going to want to keep Court and add to the position to improve the weapons around Bo. So is that something that you believe is possible, that we could keep Court and add a free agent receiver that can help boost this team?
Well, first of all, I think they want to re-sign Cortland. They're going to try to do that, and if they do that, they won't go after T. Higgins. But you're talking a weapon. You know, it's more of a sum than a receiver part. Yeah, you could use another receiver, but they need a running back more than they need a receiver. They need a tight end that can stretch the field more than they need a receiver. Those are the top two priorities. And then the receiver, I think they'll sign Cortland, providing Cortland doesn't ask for $25 million plus. But if they sign Cortland, I think they'll try to take another run at a Josh Reynolds type. Obviously, it didn't work with Josh Reynolds. They could use he was a $4.5 million receiver. They can use one who can run, who can run a little bit. But I don't think it'll be T. Higgins. I'd be surprised. Sean Payton, in his history, you look at Michael Thomas. I think there were some contract issues there. He doesn't really like to overpay for receivers. And starting last year, receivers are getting overpaid. Ayuk didn't work out for the 49ers. CeeDee Lamb, even though he got his money and he had another good year, it didn't work out for the Cowboys. They had a terrible year. And the whole CeeDee Lamb drama was, I think negatively affected that team. So, I don't – it's going to be interesting with Cortland. He's first on the receiver priority list. After that, if they don't sign, if it breaks apart with Cortland and, Cortland's out of here, then, yeah, maybe T. Higgins comes into play. But I would be surprised by that. I think it's Cortland and a definite number two-ish type receiver.
Mike, real quick on the way out, 1 minute or less. How many times do you wear a pair of jeans before you wash them?
That's a good question, because my wife wears them once and washes, and I say, "What? One time?" Yeah, I would say 2 weeks worth, at least a week worth. Let's go. When I was a teenager, it was like maybe 15 times. Now that I'm more of an adult, it's probably 3, 4. Maybe I get a fifth.
Okay. You used to get 15 runs out of it, huh? that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
right? That's pretty good.
I mean, I don't pedal a bike anymore with my jeans on. When I was a kid, I pedaled my bike with the jeans on. They were good for another month.
Yep. Mike, we appreciate you so much, man. Good to have you back on the show. Have a great weekend. We'll chat with you next week.
See you guys.
All right, there he goes, the one and the only Mike Kliss. Interesting little thought there from Cortland Sutton that we'll have to circle back to here in a few minutes.
Priority, huh?
Well, you heard it. That's what he said.
Oh, hey.
That's what he said.
Are you okay with it? That's the question.
We'll circle back and talk about it. Hey, how often do you wash your jeans? How many times? Hit me up. I put a poll out on Twitter. I'll tell you why here in a couple minutes.